Broken bones, wounds that never heal. Minds on the edge, feel the raw deal. Chaos in the ring, sweat dripping rain. Tear down the walls, feel the unchained pain. WrestleManiacs attack, no turning back. WrestleManiacs attack under the blood moon. WrestleManiacs attack, no turning back. WrestleManiacs attack under the blood moon.
It's Easter, brother. We're gonna get drunk on real American beer, dude, and watch WrestleMania.
Woo! We're back, Jack.
Right, not two, boys. Welcome to WrestleMania Night 2. Stephanie McMahon come back on there tonight and opening Ava. Who is Ava Max? The girl that's no idea. Never heard of her before ever.
Never.
And unfortunately, I have to listen to a lot of mainstream music, but I've never heard of her.
Yeah, neither did I, man.
Where do they find these people at, man?
A lot of these,
I don't know,
musicians and stuff that they put on there now. I half of them I have, or more than half of them, I have no idea who they are.
Same.
I mean, Jelly Roll. Everybody knows Jelly Roll. But
Well, yeah.
I don't know who that is.
who's Ava Max, man?
You're
I only know that dude from wrestling. I don't know who
Really?
that is.
Wow.
I don't even know what kind of music he sings. Is it country?
Well,
Yeah.
it's like country,
bit.
rap,
Really.
pop.
It's not really country. Like, I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, I don't. I know
It's
of
like-
him. I don't know.
He
him.
used to be an underground rapper that decided to make, I guess it's country style.
That's what he
music.
calls it.
I don't know.
That's just becoming like a really trendy thing now, though.
Well,
too.
country
Like,
music is the most popular music right now, for sure.
yeah, and like look at Post Malone. Like, he's doing the same thing now. Like, he's kind of like transitioning from rap into like now it's like country rap, and he's also I think he just did a straight up country album too here recently. So
He's got go.
Yeah, I know who that is.
too.
That guy. I know who that guy is, but I don't. I mean, I may have heard his songs in passing. Post Malone. I don't know.
Jackson Jack's got it. Ava Max is like someone gave a porn star a microphone.
Jeez, you guys are crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, WrestleMania Night 2, Las Vegas. These shows are always tough, man, because like that's a lot of wrestling to watch in 2 days. Like even if you just watch the pay-per-view or the PLE or whatever they call it now, like that's a lot. Like what, 8.5 hours of just straight up matches.
You know, it's crazy too, because like if you look at both nights from this weekend, there were 7 matches on each night. That's a total of 14 matches. So go back and look at WrestleMania 4. There were more than 14 matches.
Yeah,
on
WrestleMania 6 as well, I'm thinking.
Yeah, same.
They squeezed it in a way shorter period of time.
Yeah, because each of these matches, and this is the thing I told a buddy of mine who was watching tonight, they hopped each of these matches up with the video package that would have been useful on Raw or SmackDown instead, because most of this stuff, like a lot of these matches on these shows were seemingly thrown together, really. Like the AJ Styles, Logan Paul thing, that just seemed like something they quickly threw together. And they didn't really tell much of a story there, but they're putting it on the pay-per-view. And that wastes a hell of a lot of time. I wonder if, like, of course, they don't make Blu-rays anymore, but if they did, they could have easily squeezed, like, the matches themselves on probably, what, 4.5 hours, I would say.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, but you got to just look at everything in between now, like that they do with just advertisements and just, you know, and it's crazy because if you look at like the old school pay-per-views from like, you know, the 90s, 2000s and stuff, it was just directly like wrestling. You know, they didn't really tell any stories within the pay-per-view. They just did all that on like the Raws and the SmackDowns or whatever. And just, you know, each match on the pay-per-views was just like, they'd show a promo video or whatever that would go into the match. They'd have the match, be done, and they'd go to the next thing, But now with just like streaming and everything, just so much has changed. They got to put those advertisements in there. They got to have these little segments that just, that some of them don't even make sense most of the time. But, I don't know. Just it's really different now.
Imagine if you had to be like one of those dancing drumstick guys throughout the show.
God.
Like, hey, we'll give you these seats, but you gotta dance ice cream every 3 matches.
They had the urban girls jumping rope and skipping and shit for Bianca. Like a lot of Broadway style product. Like I hate that.
You don't like the theatrics? You don't like all that?
I don't mind it for an event like
this.
I think it's all right.
Like they're doing too much of it though. If they do it once, every once in a blue moon, it's fine. But like almost every match had some sort of.
Well, I mean, it's a WrestleMania thing, like for most of them, I think. Like, and I do enjoy like the theatrics most of the time if it can make sense and it's it's somewhat kind of entertaining. It kind of fits that particular superstar. But like. And we'll talk more about this later, but Cody's entrance tonight, what the fuck was that?
What's the matter? You don't like dirt bikes, brother?
He's got a new war bonnet.
The motocross fan.
No, man. Like, I love dirt bikes. I love motocross.
It was Cody Kai. You didn't know?
How does that fucking fit his character?
Well, plus he's got a war bonnet now.
I thought Travis Pastrana was fucking taking over WrestleMania or something.
That fucking song. Baby. That's like the worst fucking song of all time, too. And almost like Pat McAfee was like kind of I think he was kind of making fun of it, and that was kind of tickling me a little bit.
Cody's music?
No, the Travis Scott song, the Fade.
I don't even know what he was saying. Yeah,
that was the slowest run-in on a match in history.
Cena was so excited for it, though. He was waiting for him. It's like, my buddy's here.
Jesus.
But, yeah, it'll be a different conversation, I think. Than it was last night. I think this felt like WrestleMania. I feel like last night, to me, feels less like WrestleMania did after tonight. Like after tonight, I'm like, what the hell was last night? Just like a pre-show kind of, or like free for all. Like it just didn't. It made it almost worse because this night to me felt way more action packed. I mean, there was things I would have rather had happen, but I think overall, I think it was pretty hot from start to finish, I thought.
I agree, though, with Carden. Thank you for the super chat. The mid-carders should not have theatrical entrances at all. And in my opinion,
I agree with that.
Some of the matches on here, you didn't need those backstory videos and stuff. Like I said, that's SmackDown or Raw stuff, especially for a lot of the undercard matches. But we're going to get started with this. Stephanie McMahon did come out again and welcome everybody to WrestleMania, yay. And the opening match on this triple threat for the Women's World Championship, Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, and they're high on Io, she retained tonight, which I think was the right move. I think that
it made sense for the story they were telling, like her being the afterthought between the two. So it worked for me.
I thought it was a great match, but one thing ruined it for me and made it super predictable. Is that so? Before the match, even WrestleMania started today, I had chosen Rhea Ripley to win that match. But as soon as Io came out first, in the entrances, and as soon as she's walking out, Michael Cole makes this comment that Io had never won a WrestleMania match. I was like, fuck, she's going to win it then. So, like,
when the fuck was she? Was she even in a WrestleMania match last year?
Yeah, she was the champ last year, too.
Oh, really?
It's so funny because as much as Io Sky is really good, I think she's fantastic. To me, she's just not as memorable as these other girls are. Like, I didn't realize she was the champ last year. I was happy she won because I think she needs that belt, where I feel like the other two have other shit that they can do.
Right.
They don't need that title to elevate them. Like, I don't know what Rhea's plan is, but if Naomi's going to go off and do some more stuff with Jade, I mean, I do think Naomi is the big match that everybody wants, because as you can see, like they made it a point to kind of have them two prime and center like in a lot of this match. And I feel like when I look at that roster, like those two are probably like the two best like total package deals in I think women's wrestling right now. I mean, their look, the way their skill. I mean, I think that they just everything about them just screams money. And I think it was the right decision, but obviously I'm more of a Rhea fan than anybody else. But man, I think, to be honest, for a match standpoint, I could argue and say this might be the best women's match in WrestleMania history.
It's definitely up
I
there
mean,
for sure.
they went 20 minutes or so with like, you know, there was no downtime in that match at all. And for those girls to go that fast and that hard for 20 minutes and not do any kind of like botches was pretty impressive.
Yeah, the energy, the pace, the crowd was into it. The spots were all there. Like it was great. And it was definitely the best women's match of the two nights for sure.
Yeah, and the finish too, like I thought was brilliant. How because before that was another thing that I predicted, but I wasn't really sure if that was going to happen. I was like, Bianca's probably going to take the pin here, so they can kind of like, you know, she can stay on SmackDown and continue this story with Naomi and Jade, and then that also kind of like continues this underlying story between Rhea and Io, where Rhea has never beat Io one-on-one, so they can kind of continue their feud on Raw.
I think with Io, though, what you said, like her character, she's missing something. Like
she's definitely missing something.
Maybe a mouthpiece of some sort. Sonny
it's like
Ono,
she has
man,
charisma, but
he's still around.
It feels forced. It's like forced charisma. Like that's what I feel like. She is
well,
charismatic, but it doesn't come off the same way I think like the other two do. There is something missing about her, and I can't put my finger on what it is.
Well, the one thing is for sure is, regardless, like she should never talk because she can barely speak English. Like she should never talk. And she should never be out there and made look like a fool like they did in some of those segments either, because she's one of the best in ring that they've got for sure. She's got the most experience of any women in the whole division. She's been wrestling for damn near 20 years, and she's only like 34 years old.
Yeah.
So she's kind of unique, and I think, but if you want to give her some more story and character, they need a mouthpiece for her, but I don't know who they would get.
Well, I mean, she's still with Damage Control. I mean, I'm surprised that's even still a thing. But you know, they could have like Dakota Kai.
Mentioned them tonight. Yeah, they did mention them tonight.
Yeah, Dakota Kai. I mean, I think it's kind of they were doing something like that, like briefly with her as being this kind of translator for.
She's not very good on the mic either.
No, so I don't know. Like, but do you guys think that like if they continue this feud between Io and Rhea on Raw, that's going to like culminate in a match, and it maybe like that's where Asuka is entered back into the WWE, because it seems like she's due for a return at some point here.
That other one too is
Kairi Sane.
Yeah, that too.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what happens. I feel like Io gets lost without that title, so I don't know what they're going to do. But I mean, a mouthpiece would be. I think managers in general are needed, like big time. Like that's something I would invest money in for them, is to be like, okay, how are we going to have more managers here, because some of these people aren't that great on the mic and they could really use some people. You look around, it's like, who do you got? Just Heyman, and then that's it. So it would be cool to get some new people in there to kind of have little factions and stuff like that, like they did back in the day.
Yeah, and I've been thinking about that recently here too, about they need more managers in WWE, and it's funny because I just watched the movie Body Slam, that has Dirk Benedict and Roddy Piper, and that's what that whole movie's kind of about, because Dirk Benedict plays this manager role where he kind of gets thrown into the world of professional wrestling, and Captain Lou Albano's in that, and that's what the 80s was all about. Like there was so many managers. There's Captain Lou, there's Jimmy Hart, Bobby Heenan, and they were all like played up as big of characters as the wrestlers were sometimes. So I think that's definitely something they need to develop more in the current state of WWE. But
Michael with the super chat, appreciate it, man. We're going to talk about Travis Scott. coming up in the main event for sure. But yeah, he said, why did Travis Scott show up? It just took away from the match. I think that Cena, and he did win, we'll talk about it, but he had to cheat. That had to be the way that he won. So how else would he have, he needed some assistance to cheat. Travis Scott, if he ever wrestles, though, what the fuck, man? He is a little tiny dude. I don't think he's got much to offer.
It pisses me off, dude. No. Like the way that whole match was. Well, we'll talk about it here in a bit.
So next up, though, we'll try to abbreviate this because it is a work night tonight. Sin City Street Fight with Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest, who came out to. It wasn't the entire band Slayer, but Kerry King of Slayer came out there.
Pretty cool, actually.
Played him to the ring, kind of. And Kerry King is 60 years old and looking exactly like he looked, at least 25 years ago.
Yeah, he didn't look 60. That's
it's all that, devil worship.
Yeah, he gave his soul to the devil. So, but what'd you guys think of this one? I mean, this is kind of like, a fun little match that's, again, it was one that I don't know if it was hopped up very well either, but it's kind of seemed like it was thrown together. But I really like Drew McIntyre, man. I was hoping that they would have had something a little bit better for him this year at Mania.
I think we're going to see it.
Yeah, I thought this was a pretty fun match. I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was. But I do agree. I feel like this was one that was kind of thrown together. They just kind of looked at these two guys. Okay, they have history. They had a program together last year at WrestleMania where Damian cashed in on Drew. So, okay, let's kind of like settle this feud in a street fight. Let them just beat the shit out of each other, which I thought the finish was really cool. I really liked how, Drew won that match with like having, kind of like in the corner and with the chair, he does the whatever the fuck his move is called. What's it called?
The Claymore?
The Claymore, like into the chair. I thought that was a really good finish. I thought that I liked how they did that.
I mean, beyond that spot, though, like all the other like high spots, the thing with the tables, I just could see all that stuff coming. And I hate when they set up everything and then like they don't use it right away. And they're like, oh, let's leave these 15 projects on the side so I can come back to it later, do it all at once.
That's why I always say that being a wrestling fan is a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
Because, if you really pay attention to stuff like that for so long, like you're going to easily predict that that's what's going to happen there, unfortunately. So yeah, it's tough being a wrestling fan sometimes.
Where does Damian Priest go though after this? I mean,
I haven't been watching I haven't seen Damian Priest in a while, and a part of me when I was watching this tonight, I was like, are they as high on him as they were a year ago? Because to me, it just felt like he's like, I was thinking to myself, what happens now? And I'm happy Drew won because I feel like Drew needs to get back into that title picture after the year he had last year, and I feel like he still is deserving of some kind of little run. So I'm happy that they gave it to him. But yeah, do you feel that they're still really, really high on Priest, or do you feel like he's come down a couple notches?
Well, not main event material anymore. I think obviously. I think now like he's probably going to be like just mid card for at least a while. Especially maybe with Dom winning the Intercontinental title tonight, which is fucking amazing, by the way. I think that they throw him in that mix. I think they should start focusing on the Intercontinental title more. I mean, they have been for a while, but I think they should start bringing some of these guys that were looked at as, main event guys that were going for in the world title picture, bring them back into the Intercontinental, like Drew and Damian Priest and guys like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting because, like you were saying, Priest, they gave him the main event spot there for a few months, but it definitely, even when he was technically the champion, to me at least, he didn't feel like a main event guy.
No.
I don't think
it's almost like I feel like they need to put him back with Rhea in some aspect. Like I feel like she helped him a little bit, but because I don't know what happens to him by himself. Like, is he on a different show than the Judgment Day now? So they've separated them a little, or no?
Yeah, he's on SmackDown now.
Okay, so then he's going to start something else. And I saw Justin said maybe he'll do something with Aleister Black. That could easily
that's
be
that's a good point.
What could happen. It could give him something to do for a bit. But yeah, I mean, I like Damian Priest. I just don't know where he goes next. I feel like they've just got so much talent. I'm not sure where he goes that's going to elevate him or not. Because when we start talking about some of these other matches and stuff, like, man, they've got so much talent that you could pick a bunch of these people and like slap them in a main event and they get over. They got a big roster right now of talent.
It's going to be quite the juggling act. I agree. It's like you got so many guys, and then they just did the AAA deal, and then let's not forget about the talent in NXT that has yet to come up. So it's
working with TNA as well. We'll talk a little bit more about that later.
Yeah.
I mean, they got their irons in a bunch of different fires, I think, and it's going to be interesting. Like the AAA thing, I think that they can move superstars around for big events in Mexico, and that'll be kind of a different concept.
Well, they released a poster for that Worlds Collide event. Have you seen it yet?
Is that actually going to be a pay-per-view or a PLE or whatever?
I imagine so, yeah.
That'd be something different. So
now, does any of you guys watch AAA on the regular or no?
Not regularly, but I do.
Okay. I was just curious, like, for someone asked me, I think it might have been in a comment of last night's video or something, what I think about them acquiring AAA, and I don't really have any dog in the fight. Like, I don't care because I don't ever watch it. So to me, I'm kind of like, well, it gives, might give other people something to do. It has some talent. I said, as long as Del Rio isn't involved, like, I don't care. But
it is, I think, probably the longest running, Mexican promotion and it's actually, the top one in the world too, as far as Mexican promotions go. I mean, CMLL is still pretty big as well, but I think AAA, I think it's AAA. I may be confusing it with CMLL actually, because like Vampiro was associated and Conan was associated with that company for a while, if I'm remembering correctly.
Well,
but
do you think people that are big fans of AAA look at this as a bad thing? Like, oh great,
oh
like,
no,
bought out by WWE. This is going to become like so watered down, like, or do you think they're excited for this? Like, are they going to like, that's what I don't know. Are like the true fans excited, or are they a little bit nervous because they're like, well, if this guy gets fired from WWE, here's another place he's not going. Like, I don't know what real AAA fans think of this acquisition, if they think it's a positive or they look at it as a negative.
Fans, there's so many fans are different in so many different aspects, and I mean, there's definitely going to be a chunk of fans that are like diehards for AAA that are going to be excited about the WWE partnership, but there's also going to be those fans that's not going to like it. I mean, I think that's just naturally how all fans are with any promotion.
Mm-hmm.
My wife's getting all the results from me. She's happier than hell that Cody Rhodes got beat. She's not a Cody
I figured that.
So she knew that Crater would be pissed off about it. So we're going to talk about that.
Not really. I mean, I'm just pissed at how the match played out.
AAA though, man, like that's a different. I think in Mexico, that's just a different audience. Like, so they're kind of tapping into a completely different market there, and it'll be interesting to see if they actually try to change the AAA product. If they're smart, they probably shouldn't, because that luchador style, man, like that's what they're used to down there. But we'll see.
Yeah, that poster, which I don't know. It's just I seen it earlier. Someone posted on Facebook, but it could be just fan made. But like I don't know. It looks like they had Dominic was on there. They had Liv Morgan was on the poster for some reason. So I don't know. Like it had like guys on there. I was like, wait a minute, like that's La Parca. Like La Parca was on the poster. I'm like, I know there's like a new La Parca. It's not the original one like it was in WCW, but there's like this new guy that's kind of taken the moniker of that character. And I'm like, if they have La Parca on a WWE event, that's gonna be awesome.
Well, the thing is WWE can market all these different masks and stuff. I mean, they have dollar signs in their eyes.
Oh yeah.
So for fanatics or whoever they've got to offer all of these different luchador masks, like that's just, I mean, music to their ears, if you will.
look at Ray Phoenix, man. Before he even debuted, they had a replica of his mask up on WWE Shop, and I think that's going to continue. I think they'll eventually release a replica of the El Grande Americano mask and
I think they
and all
already
that
have.
stuff. Oh, have that? Well, there
Yeah,
you
I think
go.
those are already out there. Michael, though, and this is a good point. I meant to bring this up last night, but another $5 super chat. He says, "Are you guys sick of kicking out of finishers all the time now?" And it literally is all the time. It's every match.
Yeah.
It's gotten, I think it's gotten way out of hand.
Yeah, they're definitely like milking that for all it's worth, and I just think fans are starting to wise up to it and be like, okay, they need to stop this because they're making these finishers not seem as special, because if you look back in the 80s, the 90s, and maybe a little bit after that as well, like the finisher was like you're one and done. That's why it's called a finisher,
Right.
and just to do it like multiple times in a match, in every match, one after the other, it's very like, really, I mean, like, why do they do that?
El Dandy will be on that show, I'm pretty sure.
El Dandy's probably in a retirement
Alpha
home right
Romero.
now.
So, but McIntyre defeated Damian Priest. It was a pretty solid match. I had fun with it. I enjoyed it.
It was fun.
Yeah. So, that leads us to, I think this one was kind of hopped up pretty good. They did a decent enough job with this, the match hop for this one, with this fatal 4-way Intercontinental Championship match with Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, Penta, and Braun Breaker. Now, Braun Breaker's, and maybe you guys can chime in on this, his ring attire tonight was definitely a throwback to like some sort of Steiner's, like maybe some WCW attire in the past. Like it looked identical to something that his dad would have wore back in the day.
Of course. I mean, he has wore the same exact outfits as his dad, like that one with little numbers on it and stuff like that. Like that is a lot of those that he's worn. Now this one, I'm sure at some point they probably wore it. Maybe it was because I think it was split down the middle, so maybe it was like a combination between two different ones or something. But
yeah, their singlets used to be split like that a lot though too.
Yeah,
so.
they had a lot of those too. But 100% it probably had to do with something. But I loved this match. I think this was a great match. And I think when you take these four guys, and I actually feel the most bad for Balor because I'm a huge Balor fan and I wish he was a bigger star than he's a big star, but he's like, I don't ever see him getting back to the level that they wanted him to be at because there's just too many other things going on. But I think that you take any of these four guys and in, I don't know, 6 months, you can prop these guys probably in a main event match. I think this was a cool ass match and it was fun as hell. And those guys worked their ass off. And I'm happy with the finish because say what you want about Dominic Mysterio. He has no business being as good as he is just as a character that he is.
Yeah.
Like when he came out that first time with Ray back in the day, there's no way anybody assumed he was going to be as over as he is now.
No.
So
I love Dom, man.
The evolution of his character has been insane. Where like, throw that dude a bone when he was doing like, even they said like when he was on, there was a period of time I think he was like an NXT champion and he'd go to NXT and defend it. They said every time he was on NXT defending that, those ratings would like outdo AEW like for that segment or whatever. Like the guy draws, dude. I mean, he's over.
What's funny too is I was talking to my friend that we were watching the show earlier. Penta and Ray Phoenix. Look at over the span of a couple of months, WWE with these guys. How long were they in AEW? And they were both afterthoughts in that company.
Well, they came into the company when they first started, I'm pretty sure, in 2019, and they just left like last year?
Yeah.
So like 4 years, something like that.
And they're both bigger stars already.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And doing amazing. Like the charisma both of those guys have is unreal. And they're both like pretty much in their twilight of their career at this point. They're both nearing 40 or 40 or over or whatever. But I mean, it's cool that he's got a high profile match like this with a bunch of other great workers, and they all gelled. Braun Breaker, I think, is definitely going to be a future world champion, probably the next year or two.
That's definitely. And if you guys remember, I think this might have been on the Royal Rumble video that we did. Like, I kind of predicted that too, like about Braun losing the title, going into the world title picture, and now with Jay,
maybe a Money in the Bank winner or something this year, possibly.
So like we're Jay's the world champion now, and like they kind of reignite that feud that they had with each other for the Intercontinental Championship. So I definitely think that's the plan here with Braun dropping the title tonight. They're going to push him to the main event scene.
I would hope so.
With Dom, though, like I said, I just kind of like chose him as a because I really wasn't sure who was going to win this match. So I was like, it'd be cool if Dom won it, but he actually does. And now just kind of what happened later in the night as well with Liv and Raquel dropping the tag titles. Dom is the only champion now in the Judgment Day, and with the whole thing between him and Finn, especially now where he pinned Finn in that match, do you see Dominic Mysterio becoming a face and being kicked out of the Judgment Day?
He got a face reaction tonight.
I would never turn him face, though.
But I
would resist as long as possible.
Yeah, I think they should milk that for sure.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. He'll be cheered, but as a heel. But I don't think it's time to get him and Liv away from each other unless this was all a big ruse by Liv. And
that's
Finn.
what I'm thinking, man.
Talked about
I
before.
Think that's the case.
And we'll talk about that later. But I think that. I don't feel WWE's as smart as we're making it sometimes, like where I see a lot of dots that could be connected here, but I don't think that they've really thought about it that way because they've been saying for a long time that, like, if you go back in time, Liv, Finn, and who's the third one that was part of that group?
AJ.
Yeah, he's hurt or whatever.
Back like years ago, they were like doing stuff together. It was Finn, Liv, and AJ. They were okay. Yeah. So now when you kind of look at the big picture and we start talking about AJ later, you wonder if it is going to come back around. But I just don't think that they thought that far in the future to make that happen. But it was weird that the Liv thing happened tonight because then you thought, all right, well, Balor's out because they're going to be like, we're the only ones. You don't have a title. But now they can't even use that as the excuse anymore.
Right.
And then you don't know where JD goes. I highly doubt he's going to leave. It's going to be interesting to see where this goes now that Dom won.
There's issues backstage that JD's getting a big head. So
really?
Yeah, but I also heard that JD is going to be up for a push when he's back. So they said that JD is going to get
there's
a push.
That girl in that LFG show that's taking JD's gimmick.
Oh yeah. That big chick.
Yeah. Dude, what a fucking crazy look that girl.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
But if you look at her, I mean, she says I'm a pro wrestler. What other career would she have though, really,
Man, hey, she's got such a unique look. Not a typical WWE look for sure, but God, I mean, I think she's gonna be a huge star.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I've not watched that show yet, but I have seen like clips of who you're talking about. Like
she's bringing back the cranium thrust, brother.
Yeah.
But just going back to what I was saying though about Dom, like I think because Wes is right. Like he works great as a heel. Like, and the only way I think that they could possibly turn him face is if they, like kick him out of the Judgment Day and they make the fans like they turn this story to where the fans feel sorry for him, and he just kind of like left on his own. He doesn't really know where to go. He doesn't know, and he'll easily lose the Intercontinental title. And
do you think that they could maybe, if he were to if they down the line turn him face and maybe have Rhea and him get back together as faces?
I think in the end of the day, it probably will work. But the sad thing is that everybody knows Rhea's situation with Buddy, right? Like, so like, it is kind of a weird thing. Like they could have made
this, brother.
Yeah, in 2 years they could have reunited them like Elizabeth and Macho Man, and people would have went nuts, right? Like they could have went that route because they were over big time as a group, and he's over with Liv too. And someone in the chat right here, what's up, Southport Rocker, just said Dom on the post show seemed very babyface. Interesting.
That's the thing about those post shows, though, because they don't really. I mean, they very rarely keep kayfabe on those post
Jay
shows.
Uso snorted a pill or something before the.
Do you want to talk about how maybe like after the post show they might have looked back and said, "Was Jay the right choice? Should he have tapped out Gunther
Man,
and been our face?"
that
of the
whole
company right
situation is wild. And just the post show interview just is the icing on the cake.
Well, I
And that
mean,
shit is hilarious.
There was nothing that was like fireable that he did, but it was kind of
No,
funny.
it's not fireable, but
No.
he doesn't come off like a champion, though.
Yeah, like this is definitely because that's.
Well, he's a short term. I think he's a short term champion. He's not going to be champion very long. I wouldn't think.
No,
probably
I don't think
as
so.
soon
Either.
as Raw on Monday night, maybe
It's possible.
Seth gets it tomorrow.
Continuing on though, we're celebrating Randy Orton's 20th WrestleMania, and is a mystery opponent here.
Yeah.
Orton actually had some throwback attire on, and I caught it. I was like, oh, it's like the first
I
gear
did
that
too.
he ever had.
Against when he fought Hardcore Holly, I think
Yeah,
it was.
the blue and the yellow gear,
The shiny
kind of
material. I like that gear, actually.
Yeah, for sure. But big surprise tonight, man. Like this was kind of shocking because
I said it last night. On the
we
show.
joked about that.
I never thought that they would give
expect
that
it
spot
all.
to a TNA wrestler, though.
That is a little bit odd. That like to me, I'm like, is that just a bigger slap in the face to AEW that they'd really rub TNA that hard at Mania like that? I mean, never in a million years would Vince have ever done that.
Honestly, I thought it was a slap in the face to TNA because they put their world champion against Orton. I mean, regardless who it's against, I mean, the guy lost the match in like 3 minutes or something. And
Yeah, it was a 3-minute match.
I think he had to. Like
that's the world champion, though, dude. Like,
dude,
come on.
seriously though,
Would you have put the title on the line tonight? Like,
No,
but I wouldn't even put him in the match at all. I mean, like, if he was going to lose,
look at
like
this
that.
though. Regardless, like TNA got their name out there to more people tonight than probably ever at any other singular event times point 20 or 50 or whatever. So their name got out there again. And WWE, I was just shocked that they would. Yeah, I mean, I saw it when I saw him come out there. I was like, oh, this is going to be a quick match, right? But they did it for the fans. The smart fans love Joe Henry. I believe in Mark Henry personally. I don't know about you guys, but he's who I wanted to see.
Sexual baby.
But yeah, this was.
I don't know. I look
think
at this as a positive. I think
Yeah.
this is a huge deal for Joe Henry. I think this is a huge deal for TNA, regardless, like you said, if they're champion or not. Like, I actually was surprised he got as much offense in as he did. I thought at first I was like, he's going to RKO this dude in like a second. But he actually got a little offense in, which I was.
If he did that, that would have been even worse, man. Like, I just felt like it really made TNA look like a joke here. I mean, just because this is their world champion. I mean, they didn't even make him really look strong. Because look at the post match, Orton RKO's him again. So it just kind of it really made TNA look weak, in my opinion.
But TNA is weak, though.
Yes,
that's
very
like,
true.
You're not supposed
they
to
know
look
it
at
though. I mean, what are you gonna do? Like,
know?
hey, we got Sammy Callahan. Who cares? Like, what the fuck? Who's watching that?
I mean, it's not like Randy Orton is like a future Hall of Famer, sort of a big, like it's not just a random WWE guy that's squashing this dude. So I didn't have a problem with it, and evidently like they're really high on Joe Henry. I'm sure eventually they'll bring him in.
Of course, they're gonna.
with a
You think they're gonna give
contract.
that spot to a guy they have no interest in at all?
Right.
That was a big spot. It was like later in the card. I mean, it could have been anybody.
Yeah. So I mean, it's fine. I didn't have a problem with it, but yeah, it was a quick. What did you say? Like 3-minute match or whatever.
It's like 3 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It seemed like that because that match was so short. It made the next match even longer with AJ Styles and Logan Paul. That match went 20 minutes. And I was just surprised that they were moving pretty slow too. I was like, "What's going on?"
I was kind of let down. I was expecting more with this match. Like these two. I don't know if their styles clashed or what.
That or they're killing time.
Yeah.
Styles clash.
Something.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan. Hey, Logan Paul, people don't like Logan Paul's gimmick, which he's working all you motherfuckers, by the way. Like, I don't know if you've ever watched his podcast, but yeah, he's working everybody. He's a crazy fucking talented guy in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
You can't deny that. I mean, it's the truth.
That guy,
yeah, the skills there for sure.
Yeah, for a guy that had no background at all in wrestling, just comes into it and picks up on it that quick. I mean, that's pretty impressive, whether you like the guy or not.
And for somebody as busy as him too, he's got a lot of different projects and everything. There's a WWE ring set up in his backyard, and that's how he practices and prepares for these matches and stuff. So
he
a lot of dedication.
He hasn't disappointed anybody since the day he started, and I think that's a lot to be said. You can tell he takes this very seriously. It's not a joke to him. You can tell by the way he works. You can tell by the way he acts. He's got a great look. He's got that new theme music, which I actually hadn't heard until tonight, that I thought was pretty cool as well. And when he goes on all these other events and these appearances, like he'll carry the title with him if he has it. Like, I mean, this is not a joke to him. And I have to respect that. And I don't know much about those guys besides like that they're well known and they used to be on like Disney Channel or something and they were YouTubers. Like,
social media
I know brief stuff about them, but I don't know like their backstory on like why people hate them and all this shit. Like, I don't really know all that, but I mean, he impresses me every single time. And I think that this match, to me, I feel like they didn't mesh as well as I thought their styles would. I love AJ. I like Logan Paul. I think the Karrion Kross thing, to me, I kind of popped for that because I like to see longer storytelling. And it was cool to see him out there doing something and hoping that maybe this leads to something more at the end of the day. And what we were talking about with Finn and Liv and all that stuff, I mean, I think it's highly unlikely, but if you wrap all this around and you get Karrion Kross, Finn, AJ, Liv, the girl that's with Liv, as a new Judgment Day or something like that, it could work.
I mean, it's very possible, yeah.
But I just don't think that they've thought that far ahead to be like, oh, we'll do it this way.
They're doing something with Kross.
I like it. I think he's good. I think he's got something special that hasn't been tapped yet. And I think
the problem with him though, man, is it's like a stop-start thing, and they've done it so many times with him. People are just like, I don't know if they can do anything that really works anymore.
They're doing is it the Sean O'Hare thing, the Devil's Advocate?
Yeah. It's a gimmick that I feel like never was given the chance that had potential.
Yeah. It fits him. It's working, I think, so far. It's very early, but I hope they keep going with it. I mean, I said that like a few pay-per-views ago. Like he's missing that next gear. Like there's something that he needs to do to just get him to the next level because he's got all the potential in the world. I think Scarlett's. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Scarlett's good with him, so do something.
I remember watching an interview with Karrion Kross. I can't remember what it was on. It was somewhere on YouTube, but he was talking about how like his current character in WWE, he got a lot of influence from Kevin Sullivan, and just the stuff that they were initially doing, like in what was it, like the early ECW or something. I can't remember, but he said he just got a lot of influence from the stuff like when Kevin Sullivan was kind of do the whole like Satanist gimmick, and he had woman he was married to a woman at the time, and she was like his valet. Her name was like Dark Angel or something like that. But like it was a lot of like it was one of the earliest like kind of satanic gimmicks in wrestling. And I think that's kind of where he's going with this, honestly. So he's kind of like you said, like that whole Sean O'Hare thing was kind of the same thing. So maybe I don't know, maybe it's an homage to that too. I don't know.
Don't you think they need something for AJ though different? Like I think.
Right, I think a dark AJ would kind of be pretty cool because what do you do with him now? You can't just keep him where he is.
I think everybody expected that he was going to lose the match tonight too, so he needs some sort of new, like if he's going to stick around, new spin on his character, and I think that this would be interesting. But like I said, like the Karrion Kross and Scarlett thing, it just seems like something that they've started and stopped multiple times over the last few years that they've been there, and that's the only issue that I'm seeing. Like they definitely have something there. right? But the fucking final judgment, or what were they called? The final.
Yeah,
judgment?
Final
but like,
testament.
yeah,
That
like,
was like, go away. Like, oh,
yeah, like that
God.
was a weird group. But I think this could be. You put him with big names like AJ and stuff. I think this could be something. But you're right. They can't tease it and then never have it become anything. Like tonight, when he threw the Nux away and then he lost, like you're thinking, okay, he's eventually going to give in, or they're going to have a match. He's going to beat Cross, and then they never do anything with them again. And like that's where it's going to go wrong. If they feud, he wins. AJ stays exactly how he is. Cross goes away and thinks about what he's doing next. Like that's where it can go really wrong. But if there's long-term booking here, this could be good for everybody. It could reinvigorate AJ. It could get Karrion more heat and more become a bigger star. Have you seen the videos of him breaking baseball bats and shit? It's insane. Have you seen those?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Dude, he takes 3 baseball bats and puts them in like a chicken wing or whatever and snaps them in half. All
Damn.
3 of them at once.
Yeah, dude's a
Wild.
brute for sure.
I wouldn't want to be in his clutches.
Yeah,
That's
do
for
some
sure.
stuff like that in promos, man, for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But continuing on here, though, we have a women's tag match, which women's. I'm so sick of all these fucking belts.
Wow.
Women's tag match,
it's like-
WWE Tag
don't
Team
like-
Championship match, WWE Women's Intercontinental, the Women's US. Like, jeez. But anyway, Becky Lynch returns.
Told you.
Evidently, what happened here, in my opinion, is they had been talking to her for a long time. She kept telling them no. They upped the offer again and just decided, hey, Bailey, you're out. Becky's in. She said yes, finally. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. Otherwise, why do you book it with fucking Bailey?
I don't know why you do that. I don't know. I'm not really big on Lyra, really. So, like, to me, this
You mean
doesn't
the,
really work. Like, I feel like them.
Sorceress from He-Man?
Yeah, like Liv.
I was going to
losing,
say the
I
same
feel like
thing.
that doesn't work. And then they're like, oh, Lyra, 2 belts. Why does Lyra Valkyrie have 2 belts? Like I don't
Yeah,
understand.
nobody
like, she's not even that
literally-
over. Like
Nobody
2
knows
belts.
who she is. Like that. Look, the WrestleMania weekend, dude. I guarantee you, she could go in street clothes and walk around, and nobody would know who the fuck she was.
Well, I think tomorrow they probably should rematch them tomorrow and be like, we didn't know it was Becky, and then them just take the belts back because
don't think
it
that's
doesn't
gonna
make
happen.
sense that Lyra's going to walk around with 2 titles.
Well, here's what I think was because I had an idea because the NXT show that just happened yesterday, Stand and Deliver. So they had this tag match, this women's tag match on it, where Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley won this like #1 contendership for us. So they're going to face the champions on Tuesday on NXT. So before Lyra came to the main roster, she was in NXT and she has this program with Tatum Paxley. So I'm thinking maybe Becky's going to turn on Lyra on NXT and they're going to give the titles to Tatum and Gigi, and that way they can have this kind of intercontinental title feud between Lyra and Becky.
Ain't nobody gonna give a fuck about that either. I mean,
Well, they
I
got to
don't
be
know.
something.
I mean, they have to
Lyra.
do something. You're right. Like, there needs to be feuds, right? Built up. I get it. But I don't know.
With
I think
people
Becky would probably be a better heel at this point. But we talked about this last night, how I said I've kind of fallen out with Becky.
she looked
like,
better.
over the
I think Becky
she
looked
looked better with the outfit, the black with the
Mhm.
leather jacket.
Looked like
That's-
she'd put on some weight too.
Yeah,
Like,
she didn't
Yeah.
look as
Yeah.
emaciated as she
anorexic?
did before. Yeah, like I didn't like her in like the red one-piece bodysuits. She looked weird.
yeah, it didn't
I
look
feel
like
like
she
she
had the
looked
legs
better
of like a
tonight.
10-year-old girl.
Yeah, she looked better tonight. So I'm happy to see her back. I'm curious where this goes. I don't think.
I mean, I think she needs to be a heel because I think she sucks as a face. It's just my opinion.
I would have rather seen Becky and Bailey win those belts tonight than the other way around.
Yeah,
like it would have made a
listen.
little bit more sense to me.
because
Like,
of the
it
whole
would-
4 horsewomen.
Yeah, I mean, what are they
yeah.
gonna do? Like, well, they're like, oh, they're both from what, Ireland? So that was the connection, I guess.
I'm willing to bet like some of the questionable things that we've talked about on this, like Triple H must be a big Lyra fan.
Somebody is.
Yeah,
I don't know why
he
she's
has-
got those
yeah.
titles.
She doesn't like, to me, I don't even remember how long has she been on the main roster. Hasn't been very long.
It's not even been a year yet. I know that she came in.
Wow, I didn't even know it's been that
She's got
long.
2 belts now.
Yeah.
Well, she got brought in during the draft last year, and
she's a cute girl. Like, she's attractive. I guess she's got the bird woman gimmick or something like that. I don't know, but there needs to be more.
I feel the same way too, man. I've never seen really any huge appeal in her, and I was really shocked when they decided to crown her as the first women's Intercontinental champion.
Too. I was hoping for Natalia on that one to throw her a little bone, but it ended up being her, and I was actually very shocked that she was the one.
Like, Chelsea Green makes sense. Like, Chelsea Green has a very appealing character, and just, she's very entertaining. Just the way her mannerisms and everything is super funny and entertaining.
I love the secret. What is it called? The Secret Hervis or whatever?
Oh yeah, the Secret Hervis. And so I mean, it's just so cool.
But she also's got a gimmick. She's got a character that she can play. Like, what is Lyra Valkyrie? What is she?
She's very stale, man. She's like, there's nothing. I mean, she's got the hot girl fucking thing going for her or whatever. But but what even is that? What is the meaning behind that?
Talking about Liv Morgan and Raquel, who lost the women's tag championships. I think those two are good together, man. I think Liv is great. Not the best wrestler or anything, but she's getting way better, over the course of the last couple of years with this heel character. And, so I'm sure that they'll continue, maybe even win the tag belts back if they stay together and everything. And
I think that they should turn Rhea heel and just put Rhea and Liv back together, because Raquel fucking sucks, dude.
Raquel's only good because she's the heater for Liv. Liv,
right?
She doesn't have to be the best wrestler. I think her character is strong enough to carry her where she needs to go.
I see nothing in her.
Didn't like Raquel because she's got the chest of an 8-year-old boy.
You know what though? You know what Liv did do? Liv took Alexa's spot. Like, when Alexa left, Liv took that ball and ran with it, because now it's like everybody talks about Liv Morgan, and Alexa's just kind of been buried. Like, where is she?
She's gone since Elimination Chamber. Like, what the fuck happened with that? Like,
and she was the bigger star out of all of them when she left.
I think whenever
we already have a small little blonde that is kind of in a similar gimmick as you.
The White Six, whenever they come back, I think she may be with them or something.
And when are they coming back? Like, we talked about that last night. Like, we thought for sure that Uncle Howdy was going to be the Orton opponent. Like, what are they doing with these guys?
They see that faction as like an opening match, like kind of like get the show started sort of deal. Like, I don't think the current incarnation, the most recent incarnation of that group's ever going to be anything that special, really.
It's because half the people nobody knew who they were really and what the connection was. And I like a lot of them. Like, I thought that Samuel Loomis, American Psycho type character, was like money. Like, I'm like, this is gonna go somewhere. And then they just banished him away. He came back as Wyatt Six, and I'm like, shit, man. Like, he's just an anything guy, like with a mask and stuff. Like, he had a cool character. Do you remember the in NXT they did the wedding with him
and Indy Hartwell?
Yeah, and I still remember when everybody the priest is like, "Does anybody in the audience have anything to say about these two getting married?" And he turns around and looks, and he opens his jacket, and there's all knives like hanging on his jacket.
Yeah,
and everybody's like, "No," and he shuts it. And I'm like, "Dude, there's something here."
It was good. I love it.
Black Glove doesn't speak. I'm like, but they never. What they should
have done is just focus on Uncle Howdy, and if he had little side players or whatever, those guys never wrestled. They were just in the background.
Yeah, you can have Joe Gacy hanging around, and he wasn't going to go anywhere. I mean, unless he's
I don't know. Joe Gacy had a really interesting character in NXT as well. Like,
he's kind of Wyatt-y, right? He was a little brave.
Very much so, yeah. You could tell Wyatt was his idol. The whole schism thing never really worked for me, but I mean, at least it was something for him.
Was it called Schism or something?
Schism, yeah.
Hey, it's me and Schism.
Jism.
That's what I always thought of too. But I mean, you could always have all the other guys. Like, I don't know. I think that they really missed the ball. Like, they should have had Braun with that group. They could have kept Eric the Red or whatever Rowan in there. Like, there was potential there, but I don't know. I think that some of the choices of like putting some guys in that had no connection to Bray was kind of weird.
What the weirdest thing though is that they sent those guys to SmackDown and they've never made one single appearance on SmackDown since they've been switched over to that brand. And now with Aleister Black coming in back to WWE and he's going to be part of SmackDown, is he involved if they bring the White Six back? So,
I hope for his sake, no.
Yeah, I don't want him in that group.
Yeah, I don't either. But like, I don't know, like what. It's so weird because just based off his character, like because it's kind of similar, like dark, like horror-esque, like type character, like the White Six. Do you have him feud with those guys, or I mean, do you even have any kind of interaction with them at all?
Yeah, there'll probably be some interaction. I'm okay with a few, but definitely not joining. I just don't think that's the right move.
So
no, that they're fading out. They gotta shuffle them around or something like that. They were better when they were just murdering people in the back, and then that was about it.
Some real life horror though happened tonight. Stone Cold come out there, and he'd been drinking a few of
too many Steve Weisers.
Yeah, Broken Skull beer or whatever the hell you promoted, dude. And nearly run over this poor woman out there.
He didn't do shit to that woman.
Look. She's threatening lawsuit. She's not going to roll over. She's going to call Grover and get some.
Yeah, when I saw Nick Khan by the thing, I was like, "Oh, yeah. Did somebody get hurt or what the hell's going on?"
I mean, he hit that barrier, and that barrier was solid as fuck. It didn't even move. He hit that, and
the video wall didn't even like go off or anything.
Yeah, and it was like there was a hesitation there. But if you watch the video back, she waits like 2 to 3 seconds before she launches her fucking self back into a seat. And I'm like, okay,
get her a couple years WrestleMania
tickets. She took a good bump afterwards, like into the chairs.
And she was fine during that whole Cena and Cody match.
She was fine. She just got Mania tickets for life. She's fine.
Yeah, she's doing good. So yeah, this I gotta say that like the opening, the introductions and everything with Cody and Cena, this did have a big match feel to it for sure. Like it felt like Rock and Hogan when they wrestled, and maybe not as much as like Hogan and Andre, but it definitely felt like a big match that everybody was. Couldn't wait to see what happened in.
Yeah,
so I'll give them credit there.
I definitely felt that way going into the match, but just
when the bell rang.
Yeah.
Not even when the bell rang. The entrances to Cena's. This is his last WrestleMania. And he has like this black screen that just says John Cena and playing like white Times New Roman text or some shit, and it's just the stalest, like most generic entrance for his last WrestleMania match ever, and then just to kind of
changed his style too, like his wrestling style, right? Because he was always like super hopped up baby face.
Yeah, he did the Cena, temper tantrum, pissed off walk that he did at One Night Stand or whatever, all the way down to the thing where he just looks down and just stays very serious. But I mean, it was nice to see him get a haircut. He looked way better with the haircut than he did before.
On top of that, then comes out Cody, and he's got fucking dirt bikes, Nitro Circus shit going off everywhere.
Cody's a big fan of
and then like he has like the Iron Man helmet where like the faceplate pops up. I'm like, this is the most random fucking entrance I've ever seen.
I was talking to some people before the thing, and they think that was some kind of Ghost Rider reference or something. I don't know.
Well, he had the mask kind of like that last year, but it was just a mask that he took off, right? With the skull.
This one was like electronic or whatever.
This was an Iron Man mask for sure.
Yeah.
Like because you could the helmet, it almost looks like an Iron Man helmet, and the faceplate how it like pops up. That's exactly what. That's what
you don't
happened.
you don't like the motorcycle? That's 80s, dude. Dirt bikes. I love it.
It's not that, dude. Like I grew up with like dirt. My brother used to race motocross, so I loved that shit. But just how does that fit in with
his character? Yeah.
How does that fit in with his character?
He should have rode one down.
He probably didn't know how.
Maybe he likes dirt bikes, dude.
He got paid off by Travis Pastrana or something.
But yeah, I mean the match. Look, these guys. I don't know if it was where Cena was trying a different style, it seemed like that they didn't really gel that well together in the match.
Because this wasn't supposed to be a good wrestling match. This was supposed to be a good story. And I think what really hurt it was that Rock wasn't even there when he was the one who kind of was, he was like the mastermind behind this whole thing. So to not have him involved, I think really hurt it. Like I'm thinking lights are going to go off. Rock's going to be in the ring similar to last year. Then Austin was going to come back. Like, and then we're going to have something go on there. And then if you want to bring in Travis Scott, Cody was going to get his receipt or whatever. Like I thought all this madness was going to happen. No Rock, which means no shenanigans. Travis Scott comes down because I guess he's got nothing else to do. So he comes down. Cena's like boys with him, like, oh, come on, hurry up. And then I'm like, all right, well, here we go. Cody's going to beat the shit out of this dude. And he gives him like a wrestling move. And I'm like, come on. Like, that's all he's getting. This guy just like busted your eardrum.
And he kind of no-sold it too. Like he gave him that crossroads and the match ended like very shortly after he gave that crossroads to Travis Scott. And then Travis Scott gets back in the ring and like to celebrate with Cena. I'm like, dude, get this guy the fuck out of here for real.
What has he got with Rock that this guy gets all this stuff? Is he like his dealer or something? Like, what is his story?
I mean, I know they're using all his music. They use his theme for Mania tonight, and his music is the main theme of Raw. But beyond that, I don't know what
they love him, man.
With a hardcore title too.
He did a concert, and Triple H came to and presented him with that hardcore title. I'm like, what is this dude has like got some fucking blackmail shit on WWE or something?
I mean, I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know this guy much of anything besides I know he's a singer and I probably heard maybe a couple of his songs, and he shows up on wrestling or whatever. He's a small little guy, but I mean, he kind of takes it serious, I guess. So, I mean, I can't hate on that, but
you can't have a guy like that. Like, how does a little motherfucker like that?
It's going to be Bad Bunny and Cody versus Cena and Travis Scott. Watch. That's
like,
I hope
that's SummerSlam right there.
He had a meal at McDonald's. That was another claim to fame, maybe, according to Alpha Romero. But shitty musician too. Like, Jesus Christ, like that's who fucking listens to that shit?
Yeet. What was it? Theme.
A bunch of fucking noise. But yeah, I mean, Cena, like, I think Cena kind of had to win this match.
Man, I think everybody expected it, yeah.
Where do you go, though, from here, right? Because Cena's definitely a part-timer, and he's done after December.
Rock just never comes back again. Cena. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm a heel. Like, is that, are they ever going to, like, play this out more with Rock?
If he had come back, would that have fixed the match though? Like, I mean, we all probably agree that it was disappointed, but had Rock interfered, would that really have helped anything?
I would have fucking marked out if Travis Tritt fucking interfered.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh my god,
who is that?
What the? You don't know Travis Tritt?
No,
he's like this '90s country singer.
Yeah. We didn't have him up here.
Man, if you only booked WWE, that would have been great. He could have come out to like I smell TROUBLE.
That's my thing when I don't know what's going on. We don't have that here.
Wes, do you remember the Travis Tritt? I don't remember the song, but there was like he did this music video where he was like in this wheelchair, like on this like boat deck or whatever. He falls out of the wheelchair and shit. You know the song?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
That's where
about?
it's like a little mini movie music video.
Yeah. It's something like that. But
where he was like a Vietnam veteran or something coming home.
When I was a kid, I always thought my mom and dad would like watch that and they'd be like crying at the video. I'd be laughing my fucking ass off at it because he fell out of the wheelchair.
Fucking Travis Tritt, man. That would have been great, Card. That's a hell of an idea. But
I think Rock would have helped this. It would have kept the story. It would have helped a little bit. It would have built the story up and maybe had some more surprises. I think it would have just made it less about being a wrestling match and more about being a story that was unfolding. Because Cena, I mean, he's not a terrible wrestler, but he's a terrible wrestler. It's like weird to say. Like he was bumping weird. It was strange. Like it felt like he felt rusty to me.
The whole thing was weird. The whole thing with him now is like he doesn't care about the fans. I don't care about you. But he spent the majority of the match looking at the fans and not pandering, but it was just, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, just go kill Cody. Like, what's going on?
It's like he's possessed or something.
He's carrying that belt around like he wanted to.
Yeah, he's slowly snapping out of that position.
He's
like,
the new WWE hardcore champion.
What does he do now? Does he beat up Rock? I just played you so I could get this title. Like what happens now?
Honestly, like I thought something like that might have happened tonight. Like if they were going to not let him win the title, like I thought it just kind of came to me in an instant, like how like the Rock would come out there, kind of interfere, and Cena would be like, "All right, I played you, motherfucker," and just like knocks the Rock out or something.
Maybe that's tomorrow. I mean, who knows? I mean, if this was a random story that they decided to throw together, then there's probably not really an ending to it. I mean, Rock says this was like the grand plan, but I don't know.
If Rock wasn't there tonight, he's definitely not going to be there tomorrow night. And I just think he's too busy promoting Moana 2 or whatever the hell he's got coming out here soon.
Skyscraper 2.
It just, and I really don't know. I mean, I think, they're obviously going to continue the story a little bit between Cena and Cody, but I mean, who else could you involve here? I mean, does Rollins get involved? Does Punk get involved?
Punk for sure is going to be an opponent. Like we're going to get that match.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no way.
Orton's going to be Orton's going to come out and do something now, especially after last night and him celebrating. Oh, that's right.
Do you think like they always do the War Games for Survivor Series? They could the feud goes that long, you could have like Rock and Cena.
Well, isn't Cena the SmackDown champ now? He's the SmackDown one, right?
He's Raw.
Yeah, because Gunther was the Raw.
Oh, no, yeah, you're right. Yeah, he is SmackDown.
So I think Orton's going to be the next player. I think.
But do you think it really matters anymore? Because these guys
go back and forth quite a bit.
Yeah, because he's going to be on Raw tomorrow night. So. I don't think it really matters.
The TNA champion. I'm the number one.
Cena is going to be on the Pat McAfee podcast thing too, coming up. I think tomorrow.
Who's that?
12:15. Pat McAfee's podcast, like video podcast. Cena,
Heyman as well.
Cena and Heyman, yeah, both are going to be on there. So,
Garrett, did you watch that Pat McAfee show this past Friday?
I've never seen the show. No.
Oh my God! You got to watch at least that episode.
Well, it's a WWE episode, like it's just all wrestling stuff.
Just for the guy on there that's dressed as Hogan. I mean, makes the whole show.
Oh, speaking of that, did you notice Logan Paul did the Hogan?
Oh yeah,
the bow and arrow brother.
And then he did like the split leg drop or whatever. Who used to do that? Was it like Marlena or something? Melina. Who did?
No, it's doesn't Naomi do it now?
Yeah, Naomi does as well.
Does she? Okay.
Do you think he went up to her and he said, "That's my move now. I'm doing that."
Well, it's funny. Like, a lot of fans will like complain about Logan Paul online and stuff and say, "Oh, he stole his whole moveset from Hangman Page in AEW." The thing is, though, even if he did, he does it way better than Hangman Page does.
You know what I noticed he did tonight? I'm like, Logan's gonna get in trouble. He did like the. I'm like, he's in deep shit now.
Man, did you watch Hall of Fame like when Punk was, introducing Stone Cold and Bret Hart?
And Logan was like, looking at the camera,
it cuts to him like that was perfect. Like,
CM Punk was like, I'm the best in the world, and they cut to Logan. Logan's like, no way, like, yeah.
All right, guys, but yeah, that is WrestleMania 41. Lots of wrestling to watch. And there's more coming up. So Raw tomorrow, NXT on Tuesday. And if anybody's left watching AEW Wednesday, SmackDown on Friday. Yeah, every damn day of the week.
So when are we back, dude? Do you want to do pay-per-views? Do you want to do big ones? What are we going to do here? Want to do some old school shit?
The next big one like that should probably be Money in the Bank. I think Money in the Bank could be a cool one to do.
When is that?
Yeah.
It's in June.
Okay. It's cool.
Yeah. And we may do some old ones. I mean, I think Crater and I had done a couple of March to WrestleMania specials just because I hadn't seen those since they happened. So it's kind of cool.
I think we should do a watch along sometime and like get live reactions from us.
I'd be down for that.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah. Only bad thing is like a lot of those shows, like Peacock and stuff had ads, so that kind of sucks. But we can. I mean, it's fine. That'd be fine. Do that. But Garrett, what do you got coming up on Born to Be Rad?
You can find me at Born to Be Rad. If you're not over there right now, we're doing the simulcast. I just put out a video yesterday about 70s, overlooked 70s movies that people are really digging. So picked about 7 movies from the 70s that horror movies that I feel like people should check out that don't get talked about a lot. And it seemed like quite a bit of people didn't know all the ones that I talked about. So if you're into finding some hidden gems, go check that one out. And I have a couple more videos coming out this week on the channel as well. I don't want to give them away yet, but keep your eyes over on the channel at Born to Be Rad.
Stuntman, you got anything coming up on the channel?
Actually, yeah. Next week we're going to be me and Rambo have a paid live request watch along for Aliens. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Ooh.
Yeah. We actually already did one, but somebody paid for the theatrical version this time. So yeah, we'll be doing that. That'll be the next thing.
Nice. And Crater, you're in the middle of watching 500 movies in 2025, right?
Yeah. I just did a new stream earlier today, before the WrestleMania pre-show started, where it was like a Easter / wrestling special. So I just talked about a couple like Easter kind of related films like Critters 2 and my buddy Jeremy Moorhead's movie he did back in 2014 called Easter Sunday.
Oh yeah.
And I covered a few wrestling movies like Body Slam, No Holds Barred, Ready to Rumble, and possibly one of the worst movies I've ever watched in my life, which is Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies.
Oh shit.
It's terrible. I do not recommend even checking that out.
Wait, is that got like Shane Douglas in it?
Roddy Piper, Shane Douglas, Hacksaw, Matt Hardy. They all play themselves, by the way. And it's
That's
one of the worst
song right there.
Does it look like they filmed a lot of it at like a wrestling convention or something?
Oh god, yeah, it's just don't even bother. But then like this coming week, like funny Mark mentioned that about the alien thing, because this coming Saturday will be actually Alien Day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be covering some of those alien movies as well next week on my channel.
Awesome.
Alien Day Saturday.
Yeah.
426. I got to keep my eye on that freaking Reebok site, dude. Every time they do Alien Day, they release those sneakers, and I always miss out on them. Have you seen those rompers that they sell every? Well, I don't know if they do it every year, but
no, I missed
like
it.
the red high tops that Ripley wears in Alien.
Yeah, I see them every year, but I'm not able to afford those, man. They're fucking high dollar things.
But yeah, I mean, Dead Pit channel, lots of stuff coming up. He had fan requests for the movie that Sean Baker did before Enora called Red Rocket, which I actually enjoyed better than Enora, believe it or not. Like I like both of those movies, but that one's coming up, I think, probably tomorrow or Tuesday. I want to be doing a video on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 74 finally receiving a soundtrack release after 50 plus years.
Nice.
Does it got that song on it? Drinking coffee, watching women. Does it got that on there?
On the Sidewalk Cafe. I don't know if that's on there or not.
It may be.
Yeah. We'll have to see. Yeah, lots of stuff. So, and this has been a multi-stream. We've had over 120, 130, 140 plus people on the entire night. So hopefully everybody enjoys this, like the videos and the streams and everything. And Money in the Bank will be the next live that we do. But stay tuned. We may do some more stuff. Just watch all the videos, and there's always a chance that we'll do some more random wrestling talk. So everybody have a good night. Hope everybody had a good Easter, and we will catch you guys next time at the WrestleManiacs, brother. I want all these people to click everything they're supposed to click.
You haven't been liking them, you haven't been subscribing to them, you haven't clicked the bell or notification or anything like that.
Folks, why don't you click the like button?
Do you hate us? Do you not want to see us succeed?
Why don't you click the heart button?
Is this something that you have against our particular show?
Why don't you subscribe?
You should click on one of them buttons right now if you want us to continue to bring greatness into your life.
There's all kinds of wonderful shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. TeePublic.com. Simply the best horror shirts. On TeePublic, there are others, but they all suck. You can get some Dead Pit Radio shirts. You can get Last Out on the Left. The Hills Have Eyes. Texas Chainsaw. Oh, wait, you can't say Texas Chainsaw. All kinds of shirts, folks. You're gonna love them. Shop.deadpit.com.
Special thanks goes out to our supporters on Patreon. You know what kind of stuff you can get on Patreon, Uncle Bill, starting at only $1 a month?
What's that?
Access to every Dead Pit show since 2005. We got almost 200 fan commentaries that we've done over the decades.
Here's what other fucking Patreons do. They're like, hey, give us money and then we'll let you see a video early that we're going to release like a fucking week from now, and then that's all we're going to give you. Meanwhile, we have a literal jukebox full of songs, thousands of reviews. I don't even know how many shows are up on there now that we've done over the years.
Hundreds of thousands.
You need to figure this out now and subscribe to us on Patreon and YouTube and Instagram and help us to 1 million. The road to 1 million subscribers starts today.
So Dead Pit on Patreon.com. Join today. Tiers start at only $1, but I'd recommend at least the $10 tier.
You can do 50. The stock market's crashing